Hello everyone, Kisa here, and I'm back with something a little weirder. I posted videos before of like me getting Vanguard cards and stuff, but this is the first deck profile, and the main reason behind it is because I actually topped VRO 2022 in the standard format, playing Tamayura. Uh, I kid you not, I couldn't believe it until it was like round 7 and I was 6-0. I was like, wow, I am actually very close to topping this event. That's cool. But yeah, pretty fun event. Obviously, very well run. I even got a feature match, round 2. But the bot is not up yet, so sad. I can't watch it. But yeah, so let's go. Let's go over a few pointers on what I put on the deck. Honestly, the deck is very very cookie cutter, but a bunch of like good stuff can still be said about some of the cards that we're playing and why we're playing, right? So yeah, obviously right line, sorter on right. This nets you either one of the dolls or the fox art. It's a plus, decent plus. Then you use it to pay cost to put the right into this, and this will grab you back at all. It's very good. One of the sad things that when you ride the Tamayura, you don't get anything aside from the extra attack on the skill. Uh, for those of you who don't know, Tamayura skill on attack, you may counterblast one and either call a unit from Soul or both Rarami and Yurimi from Soul. Uh, and the second effect is that at the beginning of your right phase, you get the ability that all your front row gets 5k. So that's like half a Persona Blast. That's already pretty decent. So you can turn your 8Ks into soul attackers, which is really good, especially with some cards in the deck that we are running. It allows you to poke to even when you're not doing the Persona right, which is the big play. You're poking for enough guard to make your opponent commit cards. So the only problem is that you fall to a defensive, but that's about it. Yeah, standard right line. Let's go to the rest of the deck. Obviously, 3 Tamayura to complete the playset. Persona Ride is very important because when you are in Persona Ride, your front row gets 15k extra, and that means that any poke that used to be like a very measly 5k shield, it becomes like 25, it's 15, 20k shield, and that's very good. Uh, Obviously, the extra soul comes handy as well, so very good. Now, 4 copies of Vario Dignio. This is the basic Tamayura support. This is a rare, I think, or common in set 5. The skill at the end of the battle attack, it goes into soul, and you give something 5k. So basically, you play it, you have another whatever, attack, shove it into soul, attack with Tamayura, call it back, and then this will attack again and give something more power. When you do this play, this is like your basic push play because it lets you go through defenses, and this play alone makes this secondary whatever that's here extra 10k, and that's very good. So it's usually your pushing play. It's what you will be doing most of the time. So, and if you happen to have a booster like and double, you go swing, soul, put power on a booster, and you call the dolls from soul. So that's very good. Speaking of the dolls, for Ridimi and for Rarami. So the skills is that when they are placed, if the twin sister is on the board, they can do an effect. Ridimi can shove a unit on the board into the soul, and Rarami can draw a card. Usually you will be using Rarami because this deck needs 2 plus, and Soul Blast due to draw is probably the only plus we're doing here. And the second effect is that if your Vanguard is a glitter Tamayura, when they are retired from Guardian, they go to Soul. That's one of the reasons that you cannot change the right line in the deck, because you need to be on a glitter Tamayura, so that at any point that you guard in the early game, you are in a glitter and these go to soul. Otherwise, you're losing them. And the early game, you also want to like call two. You want to like call two soul blast two to draw, and then intercept with these so they go to soul. And you cannot do that if you're not on a Tamayura Vanguard. So yeah, don't change the right left, please. Very good. 4 of each. Very important. You need to have them also when you're trying to end the game. It's fine to guard from hand with these, so they go into soul. Also, it's a very big deterrent if you go early, you put the double doll, and they try to kill a doll by attacking into it. You like intercept and you call another one, and that will stop the attacks on your dolls most of the time. So yeah, very good, very good. To round up the grade 2 lineup, we have 3 Fox Arts. We're playing it mostly because it's a plus you can get off the right line. It has some uses, like for example in the Kairi matchup, Blackbird is another matchup where this is very good. But in some other matchups like the Bradgate decks, this is not good. You really don't want to be using these. So it's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of the card, but it's what we have. It's a good defensive tool against like small poke decks. You can easily defend. You can stop Overlord with this, like when they're stuck in their first Overlord turn. This can just neuter the turn, which is very good. Overall, solid card. Not my favorite, but you can run more, you can run less. I think that with 3, you're increasing the chances of this hitting by a decent margin. I haven't run the math, but you can use a hybrid geometric for that. Let's go into grade 1s. Base grade 1 in the deck. Fortail. I don't know why this is $8. I think you have to blame new Fatama players in premium, but this is very good. This is a very good card. When placed on rare, you may top check 7, add a card with glitter or a card with stealth in the name. So basically you add this. If you find on the top 7 itself, you'll just shove it into soul because you're thinning your deck, or you'll put a doll. Basically, the idea is that you put dolls with these. Ideally, you never want to put a Tamayura. For any of your persona rights, you don't want to put them into soul. If you see that and you really need the soul, you just do it. But overall, no. There's a stealth PG and a stealth front in Overdress right now. You don't want any of those. You prefer to run effect fronts, and you want the good PGs. So if you're planning on adding cards just to make this hit, that's not okay. The other option you can run is like, I think Madoka has a stealth, and I thought about Madoka, but I couldn't find the space. Also, I couldn't find Madokas in time, but I'm not sure. Like, if you add Madokas, I think Madoka is a target as well. But you can correct me on that in the comments. Now, on to Orlando. Mr. Orlando here. It's very simple. On Soul, first of all, we don't use it. If your opponent rear card is retired, you may CV1 call this. First of all, we kind of use it because we have no retire in the deck. Like, the only form of interaction is Ririmi. Where are you, Ririmi? There you are. And this is the only form of board interaction we have, and it's a talking to soul. So we cannot proc this. But the other effect is that when your Vanguard attacks, you may shove these into soul, and your Vanguard gets 5k. So when we are like on your 4th turn, and we have the skill active, Orlando can soul attack, which is very good. So he will swing for 13, and then when your Tamayura attacks, this will put itself into soul, giving you completing the persona right. Remember we said in the beginning that this is half a persona right. Orlando completes the persona right on the Vanguard by tucking it into soul, and then Tamayura can call anything. Even the same of Orlando, so you can have it for the next turn. Mostly you will be calling a doll, or you'll be calling like Barodignil, or even Forktail, just to like thin your deck because you're doing it before drive checks. But Being a solo attacker is very useful, and Aurora's a pretty good card. I think you can cut it down to like 3 if you want to, and like the other adaptation I see is that they play like 3 Orlando, 4 copies of Foxart, but you have to value higher the Foxart to do that, and that's not me right now. You could put Madoka here, like cut one of these and cut a Foxart for like 2 copies of Madoka, which I think it's a good idea, but I don't know, not sure. I really want to like secure this plus. This ratio works very well. Rounding up the grade 1s, we have, of course, as I said, the good PG for Twin Buckler, very good. I don't know what else to say. Like, I bought these for my Overlord decks very when the format started, and now I use them in Overdress. Very good card. I don't know why you shouldn't play this. Trigger lineup. We are like, of course, the Dragveda. Okay, I've seen people running the Elemental trigger. I do not agree. The highest amount of attacks this deck can do with like Dragveda is 8 attacks, assuming you have 4 dolls. Otherwise, it's just like just easily 6 attacks, which is very good anyways. Yeah, also more drive checks means that you have more hands. So yeah, you flip an OT. Obviously, the game is usually very close to ending, but if you're gonna flip an OT, you use Dragveda, please. It's very good. 4 copies of Burning Flare. During the week of the event, this was $10. I don't know the price right now, but if you don't have them, I wish you luck. These got expensive again. Probably the Jiva craze, very good. Also, the extra soul is very good. You can play them early to make, for example, if you're attacking into a grade 2 Vanguard with like this and a column that's like 4 tail plus this. You can make another column here. That's like, I don't know, this. This is a decent rush because you can do 12 here, shove this into soul, and this scales to 20 against a grade 2 Vanguard. And that's very good. So you swing your Vanguard for 10, and they have to guard. And regardless, and if they hit a defensive at any point, this column is still hitting because of the 2k from the trigger. So that's very good. Overall, the power is very versatile, so you want to use it. Yeah, very good. I'll explain more gameplay later. Yeah, back to the triggers. We have 4 draws. Very good. 10k shield on the draws is really good. So I don't know what else to say. We need hand in this deck. This can turn because of the ordering of matchups. Like, we can afford to give up that 5k because we could get 10k if we draw the order. And drawing an order means that your effective shield becomes 10k per attack the order is reducing. So it can be like 30k worth of shield, even more if your opponent multi-attacks. So draws are good. You want to draw your cards, and across the game, if this nets you an order, you get the shield back tenfold. 3 copies of the front, because again, as I said, this deck doesn't draw too much, but also this is effective 20k shield in the mid to late. When I got the list from Different Fight, shout out to Different Fight for the list, for the initial list, by the way. He gave me the list with 7 crit, and I played with it, and I felt like the deck lacked pressure, because when you're doing your push turns with Tamayura, usually whatever is in these columns, if you're not on Persona, these are very small. So flipping a crit meant that your opponent only had to carry one of the lines, and you run these crits because these crits are amazing. But a vanilla crit is less shield, and overall, in my opinion, less pressure than a front. So I just went for the front instead. It helps a lot in your non-persona right turns, which obviously will happen because you don't plus that much, so you have to manually draw your personas. You cannot search them, which is really sad. So yeah. Uh, Last but not least, 4 copies of the regular heal. Uh, okay. I think that in hindsight I should have been running the crit counter heals. I think that's the first thing I realized after the event ended, that I should be running this. 15k shield is great, especially because it combines decently with your order. But honestly, these are really good. You need them for Sorga, Pyro Magnus, for Gravidia. Even though the matchup against Gravidia is atrocious and you feel really bad playing it, but that's for it. That I think that applies to everyone that's playing the matchup at this point. So I think this is really good. 20k shield, 25k shield is really good. You save a lot of hand against those decks that you really don't want to eat 2 crit from. Against PVO, that's another very important matchup where this is used. Overall, yeah, I think I should have run this, but I did run this. I felt good about doing it. It's okay. So you really it's up to you. I think a split is also a consideration, but I'm not the kind of guy that split heals. I just play 4 of each, 4 of the one I want. Overall, deck is very comfy. I think that the deck is very good at rushing, especially if you open like multiple Fork Tails. Like if you go second, which is usually atrocious in Overdress, you can get this, and if you got double Fork Tail, this is a lot of you're comfy doing this. Your opponent will not attack the Fork Tails, and then on your next turn, if they don't attack them, you're riding up to 2. You get your dolls, and now your setup is like this, and you have these comms that are scaling pretty well. And like if the Fork Tails don't stay on the board after your initial rush, these become your boosters, and these are really good boosters because at some point of the combos you're calling the dolls out, and the dolls plus this make a magic number. This is 23 on their base Tamayura. Past turn 3. These are 18, then 23. On Persona right there are 33. That's really good numbers. So yeah, very good. Overall, this deck is very fun to play. It's aggressive. It's fast. You can say it's very telegraphed, but honestly, most of Overdress decks are very telegraphed. That's like one of the things of the format. But overall, this deck is very fun. I hope you want to try it out and have fun with it. I really had fun playing the deck. I really had fun playing VRO. I didn't expect to do this well, and I find it's hilarious that after playing Vice for many VROs, this year I only got a feature match on the Vanguard side. It's probably because I was playing against Sabri. Yeah. Also, my opinions in the meeting is that I don't have very strong opinions. Like obviously, we all know that Gravidia is one of the best decks. Card is another very good deck, and I think that Gravidia is just sad. You try to play this just to make the matchup less sad. That's your adaptation, I guess. Against Kari, I think your matchup is really good. Mostly because this is one of the matches where the Foxheart becomes a lot of effective shield. Because you basically negate Kyrie, so you save a lot of hand. If they flip OT on you, then whatever, you just lost anyways. But I played 3 Kyries in a row from round 3 to round 5, and the Foxheart did so much work in those matchups. It was incredible. I don't think I would change anything else. As I said before, maybe Madoka is a card you could try in the deck. I've seen it in deck lists. Obviously, there is the Blaze Maiden version of the deck, but I don't own the Blaze Maiden triggers, and I'm not very interested on it anyways. But yeah, that's it. Obviously, the deck log will be in the description down below if you want to try. Please, it will be updated with the counter crit heals. So please bear that in mind. And obviously, thank you very much for watching. And if you want to like see me post more Vanguard decks, because I have a lot of Vanguard decks, I just don't post them because they are they're like my fun decks. And albeit I do try hard, I don't consider my builds to be like the best decks. I just copy decks from other people, and just test them and see, oh, this is what I should be playing, I guess. Aside from that, don't do that much then. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys had a great time, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.